Looking for a fun and informative podcast all about training working dogs? Look no further than the LWDG Pod Dog. This weekly show is hosted by me, Joe Perrott, founder of the Ladies Working Dog Group, and I chat to experienced trainers and experts in the field who will give you helpful tips and advice. Whether you're just getting started or you've been working with dogs for years, this podcast will have something for you. So pull up a chair, pour yourself a cup of coffee and tune into LWDG Pod Dog. Let us help you build a better bond with your best friend. Hello and welcome to another episode of LWDG Pod Dog. Today we're going to be talking about the rent being due on your dog's success. So when we say the rent is due on your dog's success, what we mean by that is the success isn't something that is a permanent position. You won't get success in one go and then it stays forever. You've got to consistently work on the success if you want it to stay. Success is a very fluid thing. People think that once they've reached success, that means that they're there and that they'll stay there. That's not true. Yes, I suppose if you were working towards a qualification or climbing Mount Everest, success can be just that one attempt, that one summit, that one qualification, that one certificate. But in order to keep up that level of capability, you've got to keep working on it all the time. You know, within our working professional lives, we have continuing professional development. In other words, in order to keep our level, keep attaining the level we're at, we've got to keep on working at it. So the rent being due on your dog's success is about you needing to work on it regularly, consistently, and not thinking that once the dog's achieved something and that you've achieved something that's a tick in the box that's permanent. It's not a permanent tick in the box, it's a tick in the box today. That tick in the box might not be there tomorrow. So it's about making sure that you're consistent in your training to put the tick back in tomorrow and the next day and the next day and the next day. And pretty much regularly, you know, it's obviously going to become far, far easier when dogs know their commands, know their behaviours. You know what to ask for, you know how to ask for it properly. It's all going to become far, far easier. But even then, it's like riding a bike. You're not going to forget, but you are going to need to do it regularly to make sure that you can do it at a level that's suitable. So in order to make sure you keep that success level, you've got to do the work every day. The rent is due on success every single day for you and your dog. Now, before we go into the necessary requirements for success, I do want to put in a small caveat that I think is really, really important. If there are times in your life where life is getting in the way, illness is getting in the way, something's getting in the way of you having the consistency you want, it is really, really important to focus on getting better or getting through the work ahead or dealing with what's in front of you before you deal with the dog training. Because it's really going to be very, very hard for you to focus and get the training done that you want if you're being distracted by the other things going on in your life. Short gaps in your training is not going to destroy your dog. That doesn't mean you can have short gaps every day for 6 months, because that obviously is going to have an effect. But the odd times when you can't get the training done is not going to be the end of the world for you or your dog. So no one achieves perfect dog obedience overnight. It takes literally years. As I host more dog and decks and listen to more of the trainers talk from all over the UK and answer our ladies' questions, I realise that sometimes we're a little bit hard on ourselves and expect it to all be done in a couple of months. That's not going to be the case. You're going to need to be willing to put in the effort with your dog to achieve the goals you set for them, but be prepared to have the patience it's going to take to get you there. One of the most important elements of success is the consistency in both your training but also your attitude. You've got to show up and give it your all for that time when you're training, even when you don't feel like it. Now, not like I said in the caveat where there's like something going on that's quite big and really getting in the way, but sometimes you just think, oh, you know, I don't want my coat on, I don't want to go out, it's raining, little things. They're the days you need to push through, you need to keep going. It's about staying focused and staying on track. Even when things are getting tough as well, when the training's not going how you want it to, it's about still showing up with that consistency and having the patience to not give up. It can be so easy to let your dog's behaviour or response slide at home. This is something that I've heard the trainers talk about. We can ask for a sit and then say nothing if the dog doesn't respond, and then it's our attitude there that then may go on to cause different problems. So consistency in our attitude is really, really important. Now, whilst I'm talking about dog training here, I'm not a dog trainer and I'm not going to try and train you about your dog. This podcast is all about how you need to approach your dog training in order to get the results that you want. So if we've been consistent in our efforts, we'll eventually reach the goals that we want to get to. Don't be discouraged if you're not seeing results straight away. You're teaching another species that doesn't understand your language to follow it in the first place. So it's about building a relationship where your dog knows what you want and understands the commands that you're giving them. You're going to have to put in time and effort in order to achieve your goals. And I think sometimes it can be really, really difficult for people to understand and comprehend how long that they could possibly take. And especially when we see people who are showing their dogs getting things done in a couple of days, a couple of weeks, a couple of months, and we see this pressure. They go, oh my God, I'm not good enough. I'm falling behind. It's about consistent, whether that's 10 minutes a day, every day. You're going to see progress when you're putting that effort in to achieve the goal. It's really important before you go out on any session, whether that's your dog training or time in the gym or going for a walk or riding your bike, to identify what you're trying to get out of the session. For example, imagine getting on your bike and then not deciding where you want to ride. It would be the most confusing ride ever. You'd be like, do I turn left? Do I turn right? Do I go up the hill? Do I go down? It would just be so muddled and confused. Now, we plan our journeys when we're on a bike or in a car. We don't tend to plan our training sessions, but they work pretty much the same way. Trying to accomplish too much too quickly will lead to discouragement. It'll overwhelm you, okay? So just do little bits and don't think, oh, well, this little bit's not going to make much difference. It is. Small bits all added together with consistency over time will definitely lead to the dog that you want to have. There are times when you can give up. Let's make sure we put this sort of caveat into. There are times when you can give up. When you are really finding that you shouldn't have gone out in the first place. When you really can't focus, so you can't give the dog your focus. When there's so much stuff going on in your mind, then you need to say to the dog, come on doggy, we're done, let's call this a day. But if it's just a case of this getting tough and you're wanting to give up because you're thinking badly and critically of yourself, like, oh my God, I can't do this, I'm no good at this, why am I trying to train my dog? All those types of thoughts, you really need to sort of pull them back and say, well, hold on now, that's not the case. I can do this. I've got the capability to do this. I'm facing a challenge. I don't need to give up. I need to just consistently keep going until you get it too, because most of the people listening to this are normally novice handlers with novice dogs. Two novices together is starting out the relationship in very much a confusing way, but you can build on it bit by bit by bit, but don't expect too much. You're not dealing with an experienced dog who's going to know your every command, and are you going to know the command to begin with? So just have that sort of time and patience with yourself as well as your dog, because you're both learning. Even if you don't achieve the original goal with your dog, maybe you bought a dog and said one day this dog's going to be a field trial champion, and that's something that you don't actually end up achieving. On the way, you're still going to end up with a really, really well-behaved dog, a really fab dog, a really fun dog that you can do loads and loads of things with. So sometimes when we're trying to reach a goal, we don't reach the exact goal, but we reach something that maybe we didn't expect, or something better, or something just as good. So keep your mind open to what you're achieving. And that can be on our sessions as well. Maybe the session goal is just to, I don't know, get a sit perfect or something, you know. I don't want to go into dog training, but that might not come exactly as you want, but you might find that your recall is absolutely fantastic, and then you think, well, actually that didn't come right, but this did. So follow your mind down the path of thinking about the things that are successful, okay? Take it one step at a time. Don't try to do everything at once. Like within the Hot Mess Handler, we teach 9 foundations of gun dog training, handling, whatever you want to call it. you're not going to master all 9 all at once. So, work through them over time and then start putting them together, mixing them through, mixing different exercises from different foundational commands so that you've got, you build on it. You're not trying to get it all done straight away. Try not to let life's struggles sabotage your dog training journey by being overwhelmed outside of the training, then overwhelming yourself trying to do everything once in the training and just having a muddled mind starting out. Break down your to-do list of dog training to manageable tasks, work things one at a time. You find you're surprised by the sort of increase in getting things done that you will, because you're not going to be feeling that frazzled. You're going to be far more productive when you're working through things in an orderly fashion. And believe in yourself and your ability to achieve success. Now, I've just touched on this a little bit earlier, but it's really important to know that you have to believe you can do it, because it's hard enough for you to do things in life where there isn't another mind involved. When it's just you, and say, for example, you're trying to run 10K and you don't believe you can do it, that is going to be a hard enough journey in itself to get yourself to the point where you can do that 10K, because you're going to constantly be fighting against your own mindset. Add to that now dog training, and then say, actually, I don't believe in myself, but you, matey, I expect you to believe in me. They're not going to be able to do it. They're going to be looking at you in confusion, like, what you really want, because you seem lost in it yourself. So really, really go out every single day and think, actually, I can do this. I might not get to a field trial champion or a working test dog or go to an estate, but this 10 minutes, this 20 minutes, this half hour in front of me right now, I can do this. Focus on the small steps, and all those small steps will add up to becoming the dog that you want to own. When I say about staying focused on your goals and what you want to achieve, it's really important that you don't get sidetracked. So sometimes we can say, well, I'm going to do this, and then I'm going to do this, and I'm going to do this, and I've seen somebody's doing this, and I'm going to do this, and I've seen somebody's done this, and this is how somebody trains this. And you get muddled in your head with your training methods and what you're going to do, or you're swapping and changing really, really quickly. Like 1 minute you're training one way, and then the next day you've got a clicker, and the next day you've got a place board, and the next day you've got treats, and the next day you've got, a wing on a string, and you're just all over the place. Try to be focused and seeing if something works. If over time you find it's not working, then alter your methods, but give something a chance to work before you chop and change. One of the things that I find exceptionally helpful for me are vision boards. Now, I don't know if some of you know about vision boards. I've used vision boards all my life. So we've done them with the children, like when we went to Disney Florida, we got them all to cut things out of magazines, what rides they wanted to go on, who we were going to see, where we were going to go, and we put that on the wall, and that was our goal for the year, to get to Disneyland Florida in September. Everybody in the family was focused on one goal. You can use it for bucket list type exercises, like if you want to go to Niagara Falls and things like that, or own a certain car, you can cut them out, stick them on a board, put them up in front of you where they visually represent your goal and keep reminding you of what you want to do. There is nothing saying that you can't do this with your dog training. You can put up pictures of maybe the types of foundational command responses you want. Like, that's quite a lot of words in once, but maybe, a nice sit, or a dog coming towards you in a nice recall, and all those things, or a certificate, or one of the LWDG working badges. Use anything and just put a picture up of it and then focus on it, because sometimes we can be our own worst enemies. And if you're feeling really down about your dog, or why am I going out to train? Why am I doing this? You can have a little look at that and say, well, actually, that's why I'm doing it. I'm doing it because I want to achieve those things. So put it up there for you to see and to keep you focused. Now, going on forward over the next few weeks, we will be introducing a vision board class. So this is something new that we haven't done within the LWDG before, and it's going to be free, and it's just going to be a vision board making class. Okay, so you can sign up for it, and then people will be able to come along. It'll be virtual online, and we can just put our boards together. They don't have to be dog training related. They can be, like I said, for a holiday or for a wedding or for a house build, anything that you want. But we're going to do them together just to help you focus and train towards your goals. Because even if we're helping you with one of those other goals, that might leave you with the space that you need to train your dog consistently. So, in summary, success leaves clues. And one of the best ways to achieve is to learn from those that have done what you want to do. That's why we invite you to join Society Squad, where we share our training and our resources and support so you can stay focused on your dog, on your training goals, and making steady progress towards achieving them. We believe in you, and we know that with hard work and dedication, anything is possible for you. So if you aren't a member at the moment, please come along, have a little look. Ladies, we welcome you all. Gentlemen, we don't welcome you into our live areas, as in our live trainings, etc. But you are more than welcome to take part in our recorded areas, our recorded courses, etc. And please keep an eye out for the free vision board making class, and we will make sure that we help you to pay the rent that is due on your dog's success. Thank you for listening to LWDG Pod Dog with me, Joe Perrott. Now, we all know training a dog takes time, energy and patience, but our lives can be really, really busy. Don't worry, the LWDG has got you covered. Join us for our free planning workshop, where we'll show you how to use short 10-minute training sessions each day to fast forward your dog's education. Our experts have years of experience in training dogs and will help you get started on the right foot. Register now and start making progress with your furry friend today. Go to our Facebook page, the Ladies Working Dog Group, and click on the pinned post, or visit www.thelwdg.com.